Good morning, vinyl community, crime community. Lost my place here again, but I'll find it soon. This title is called Emperor of Death. Charles Manson, July 2015. Despite the enduring belief among the uninformed general public that Manson's main socio-political creed centered about the belief that the helter-skelter race war would lead to blacks taking power in the USA, Manson was mostly indifferent to the historic election of Barack Obama. While he certainly wasn't a fan of the change that Obama wrought, he once said to me, "That guy ain't the first black president. Obama's been the real president. Oprah's been the real president for years, and Michael Jackson before this." Considering the controversy spurring the Confederate flag issue during the Trump idiocracy, some wrongly assumed that surely Manson would have supported the McDonald's MAGA Alomania. On the contrary, Manson was still well enough to observe his 2016 campaign, and he condemned then candidate Trump for a very epitome of the money mind, mocking the reality TV star as Donald Duck. As a lover of Mexico and Mexican culture, Manson was especially critical of the Trump's base pleasing vitriol against Mexicans. Only can one imagine what he would make of the Trump administration's flagrant crimes against air, trees, water, and animals. In Manson's last years, he stressed with more fervor than ever that no other political issue mattered more than Atwa. The inner notes he wrote for his 2010 CD, Air, express his urgency eloquently, serving as a summation of the vision of the one world order that transcends divisive partnership for the sacred cause of radical ecology. I tell you, this is a quote from Manson, "I tell you all, you must look at Atwa. There is no other way. It must be one world now. The one world now everywhere. The planet must be one. All the conflicts of everyone trying to outdo each other, it's what's deserving it. It's what's destroying it. It's all about the trees, soldier. It's all about the trees, soldier. If you don't have trees, you don't have green. We don't have no life on planet Earth. So the war is towards the holy and the righteous in the zeal of what's destroying the life on planet Earth. You destroy my life on planet Earth, I'm taking move in what direction with chemistry and biology from Greenland. North side of everything coming and going towards intelligent life forms that want to survive. Atwa, all the way alive, all the way of life, and that's all there is. If you don't have air, the rest of it doesn't matter." That was Emperor of Death. Revolutionary Writings by Charlie Manson. Hillbilly Ecology. I married a Rose from the hills of West Virginia. Her dad never had a car before he had 5 of the best coon dogs in Wheeling, Mountsville County. But out of his 5 prized dogs in the trunk of his first car and went hunting, when he got there, the dogs had run out of air. Hillbillies like no other people you've ever seen. They live on the land, off the land, and for the land. They are dumb, I mean dumb, in city ways, but in the hills they are the smartest animal on earth and are keen as a June bug. The life with and are aware of all the ways of life as if from the eagle's eye to the snake. It's cities and societies we don't care for. They are called the Flatlanders and make too much smoke and create too much waste. I was said to people who are gone under the uncles that didn't read or write, no shoes and nothing at all with their lives but fish, hunt, make moonshine, play music, and fucking suck and run wild. Uncle Jez seen pollution killing all the earth on life and government, make all the kids go to school, waste the land by taking the kids off the land. He called all the people in his family the clan and killed 9 hogs, and what would be? He put a bucket on my head and beat it with a hog's tail. I beat out ass with a bucket when I went in the VA and was sent to prison in Pennsylvania. I told them in 1950 and 1952 and 1954 to clean up Earth and stop destroying water, and I was called a dumb hick. I was made aware of the nature before I hit the bull rings in Mexico and Spain. I didn't realize how much and for what the universal mind had in mind for this universe. Like cleaning up pollution could be destroying the societies and cities, and cleaning up water and balancing life on the planet called Earth could be balancing all the life forms who couldn't simply to their own powers to feel free and think for themselves. To dismantle worthless robots that serve no real other than to pollute or make a mess and never clean up. No beast in the world pees in its own water. The more you're schooled, the more of a thinking mind. Then you're dumb, you don't think much, and you're slower, and you don't work as well as doing some things, but it makes up for other things. You can find fishing worms better, and you can tell when a train is coming without a clock. Your dick always stays hard, and music comes like nature, and you grow up to do, see, and know things that are not in books, and we see grandmoms from the hills are witches and cook their children, set some in prison and some in church. Rest in peace. You call your best minds crazy and kill your holy men and praise your worst and destroy what was best. No love and no soul. You run on fear. Lumber companies already took the trees, and the government got their rivers and lakes, and pollution got their seas, and all their free wildlife are condemned without a choice in zoos. The space on Earth has been gone for a long time. You were born dead. American history lesson. Pearl Harbor was a lie. The U.S. got into the war and didn't tell its people it goes to war for money. All the so-called politicians, leaders, were crooks all the way from the first pirates. They came over here on ships and called themselves pilgrims. Message from the chairman of the board. Charles Mann, Sunstone, stockholders. This is the only one world of the life of money's grave. His money's grave. We pride ourselves in the fact that our money never dies, and it old as the mark itself, and within all of it that holds the tradition of the Manson's trademark. Hundreds of years of tradition and struggle can now be realized in Ottawa's World Garden as we much to stop world pollution and redeem the balance of the air, water, our graves, our deep knowing knows. Fear of melting. Smart is coming. Okay, here's a letter that Manson wrote to President Ronald Reagan. Manson's open letter to President Ronald Reagan, August 6, 1986. Ronald V. Reagan, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. The government didn't beat the moonshine still, and whiskey has power just as coffee and tobacco do. Uncle Jess from Kentucky said, when I was a child, that the government would end up with the whiskey in stores and would run the stills because people in the government were the big crooks. I tell you that he said, and I say this, you're not going to beat drugs. He's talking to Ronald Reagan. I was in prison before people came to prison for drugs. I saw the government make the problem. From your foundation, you can't help the people. You don't want help. You've got to go with the will of the people, and you lose heart within your own government. You're going to rip it apart and waste a lot of money. Your war should be against pollution and for the pulling trees back before you lose all the air, water, and wildlife. Take over the drugs and use their power to move people to work on CCC projects. Put their trees back fast before the pollution destroys all life. I saw it dying in Death Valley. That's why Krishna Venta blew himself up at the foundation of the world in Box Canyon, California, when the Feather River Project cut its fountains of water off. So he blew himself up. Plants and herbs that can all have drugs have more power than you understand. He's telling this to Reagan, man. All the distorted thoughts and rules make problems worse. Here is a story. Two men in a cell. One says he wants to die, as was going to kill himself. The other said he wouldn't let him. So the first guy killed the other one and then himself. If people want to eat shit, then you can't stop them without going with them. No one even knew that drugs were in until Mr. Anzingler told everyone not to take. Cops teaching kids what not to do only shows them what they can do if they want to go against someone. If you put up a bunch of fools who only know what the book says, no new game, honor, or purpose. Some of the meanest fighting men in history got high before they went into battle. Remember why the .45 caliber was put into service? You can make a pile of stocks and use them to you can make a pile of rocks and use them to build a house, or you can take the same pile and start a war. Tell children not to throw rocks, make rules against picking up rocks, and make them mad. Keep projecting what you not to do, and you can make the thought in their brains of what can and will be done. Before the U.S. has a government, the monks on top of the grapes, the wine, the Buddhists and other monks had the poppies and flowers of power under control. Control must be order, and order must be the truth. And when in truth you can face the problem as it is, not through distortion judgments. Roots and herbs are part of life, things not known by only a few. One day all you space cases will face the earth dying under your feet. We saw the water out of balance with the land as the foundation of the world. And the old men in Death Valley told me the same after I got out of 17 years of service to the truth of government hallways. I'm the last guy in, but I've got all for the balance of order and peace with a one world government if we are to survive. I want a telephone and the charges to call anyone, or simply a courtroom with the rights that I was denied 17 years ago. Easy, Charles Manson. The last thing I'm going to read here, there's a couple little things. If I Were Boss by Charles Manson. If I were boss, I would take your toy, no cars, no lights, no power plants, no electricity, just a little windmill. The freeways would be bike trails, and no shitting or pissing in the water. I would hang anyone who put a junk in the water, no trees, cut no bushes, destroyed no lumber, no books, and no need for garbage dumps, and no crime, no poisons, and I would be a beast and enslave the people to Ottawa. No violence on TV, no music with words, no schools but for a few. Everyone with a PhD don't give PhD much meaning. A street sweeper makes more money. Oh, yes. No money at all. Computers. No, everyone for my survival. If other countries wouldn't do what I say, I would destroy everything and reseed it with zoos and give Earth back to wildlife and the bugs. This is the final one I'm going to read. The Social Consciousness, a letter from Charles Manson in 1970. The social consciousness is clouded with much confusion. When is a lie a lie? If most people want to believe what they're told, it then becomes a part of the social consciousness. If the people who are already mesmerized by the news media and want a mad dog, they created one by fostering their own vicarious thrills. The image is magnified by the desire of the news media to make money, the desire of some lying informant to get out of jail or become famous, and so on. The lie grows so big, who can believe it? There is a price you will pay. You may not see it, but the beast you created will devour you. That is to say, your social subconsciousness. There is a subconsciousness that lurks below your awareness. The social subconsciousness beginning to make it move is called anarchy. Things happen every day the newspapers don't print and the TVs don't show. You're only told a small part of what's going on, and that part is only to control your mind, to get you to stay in line, to avoid panic, and to increase a social thought, to keep down total chaos of the masses. The lie is becoming so big that no one can believe it. This is what isolates people, for soon no one will know what to believe. The last bundle of the Armageddon will be when the social consciousness reaches a high fear level, as fear has always and will always induce madness. That's my last of my read for today. There's one more chapter that's really interesting. It's going to go into all the movie stuff and the manufacturing and marketing of the Manson myth. I'm going to show one picture here. You can see that. There's Charlie dressed in drag. There's Charlie as a little kid, a little face of a 5-year-old. Down in the fucking bottom of the radio station, there's a picture of Sharon and "Will You Die for Me?" And I don't know if Zena Schreck drew that or where that came from, but that's a cool picture. So we say thank you now to all the vinyl community members, all the crime members, and God bless all the family and children. Have a nice day.